Hello and welcome. Today we are going to be doing something new. We're going to be making a really pretty box using the Criss Cross square dies. I think this is either the Fleur or the Coin. You can use both because this one I started and I ended up using the other die by accident anyway, so it doesn't matter. Pick up Floral, Coin, it don't matter. We're going to be making these roses with these leaves and these little pretty swirlies in there with the gold swirlies. We're going to be putting it on corners and making the box from scratch. And here we are going to get started. So you're going to need 4 pieces of paper. 2 contrasting papers, one you want for the top of the box and one for the bottom of the box. You're going to want one for the die cuts and one gold foil that makes it all pretty and shine and look super amazing. And so this is the die set. Like I said, it's La Fleur or La Coin. I don't know which one. But we're just going to use this one die to do everything. You can see it's super duper pretty, and the corners cut out and then the inside embosses, which is really nice. So it's just one thing that you have to cut out. And then I'm also using the Griffin floral dies to make the roses, and I'm just using that one set right there on the bottom. And then I'll be using the corners from the china cabinet craft box. So those are the dies that we'll be using, the papers that we'll be using. And let's get out our scoring board. And so we're going to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and we're going to cut it to 9.5 inches square. So I think I accidentally only on this video cut one side, but cut both sides. Cut 2 sides, to make it 9.5 inches square. And then you're gonna score it at 2 3/8 on all 4 sides. See, I realized I hadn't cut it, so I had to cut the other side. And then just keep scoring it at 2 3/8 on all the sides. Now this is going to be the top of our box, and we'll have to do another one for the bottom of our box. But now you have all of the center of your box is going to be the perfect size for our die. And now we just need to cut the corners. So here we go. Just follow each of the corners and cut diagonally up the corner and then down one of the sides. And then cut up the center of the corner and then cut down the same side that you cut down the other side. And I know that doesn't make sense, but if you can see in the picture, you want one of those squares to not have any corners on it. And then the on opposite ends. And then you want 2 of the ends to have all of the corners on there. So I'll show you what that looks like right now. So it looks something like this, which is like a weird cross. So you can see the 2 top ends, the top and the bottom ends don't have they have the corners cut off of them. And now you're gonna score on all of the score lines. I had never made a box before. This is my first one. I researched. I had no idea how to make a box, even though I have the ultimate from Crafter's Companion. And I thought that the instructions would be in there. No, I didn't know how to make a box. It did not tell me either. And so, yeah, here's my very first box. I had to figure it out on my own. So this is the bottom of the box. I just cut it out in a really pretty color that I thought would go well with the top. I didn't want it to be the same color. And so here we basically did the same thing, but you can see that this is cut at 9 3/4 inches square. And then it's scored at, 2.5 inches instead of at the 2 3/8. So you can see it's scored at 2.5 instead. And so that's gonna give us a little bit more to make the bottom of the box. So we cut the square a little bit bigger, and then we scored it on different places. And then you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna cut all of the corners and in the same exact way. Then you're gonna glue it all together. But you can see that this was what it looks like. It's not put together yet, but this is what it fits perfectly, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So the top and the bottom fit perfectly together. And so let's get out our glue. I'm going to use glue. You can use whatever you want, of course. And this is the Barely Art glue. And then I'm just going to go and use a little binder clip to hold whichever side I'm not working on, hold it together, and then keep going so that I can just keep gluing on all 4 of the sides. So have you ever made a box from scratch before? If you have, then like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know how you like making your own boxes. And if you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know if you're gonna try this project. All right, so we're gonna do this gluing on all the sides, but we're also gonna do it on the top and on the bottom of the box. And you can see that it goes together pretty easily. This is I guess a fairly simple box if you've ever made one before. Nothing too complicated. And the bottom, you can still see it just a little bit showing through. And it makes it a little bit easier to get your top off if you have a little wiggle room there on the bottom of your box. So here we're going to take our other colored cardstock and our gold. I'm using a gold foil that's not matte cardstock. And I'm going to cut out that die 3 times. So I'm cutting it out 2 times out of the mauve paper and 1 time out of the super shiny gold paper. And then you're going to want to fold on all the score lines on one of the mauve papers. And you're going to want to make sure you either use a ruler or something to get those score lines moving in the right direction or something like that. Or you can just reinforce them on your own with like a scoring tool. Then you're going to want to grab your bone folder and just put down all of those crease marks and make sure that they're really tight there. And now you have your top of your box. Then grab your scissors and cut off all 4 corners at the score line on the gold foil paper. And these pieces here are going to create our beautiful drop shadow on our box on this piece that we just cut out. So grab your top and glue on the inside of all of these delicate little pieces, and then offset the corners that we just cut out of the gold so that you can see them through that the pattern on the front. And then just do that to all 4 sides. This is such an easy box, but it creates such a wow factor. I am just like thinking that I need to make more of these. So this is my second box. You saw the first one that I made, and then this one. The first one was the one that I showed you at the beginning, and then this one. And I gave it to my sister, and she was amazed. She said, "Oh my gosh." And I was amazed too. So I want to make more kinds of things like this. So tell me, what do you guys think? Do you like 3-dimensional projects, or do you just like making cards? So just take that top piece and nestle it over the top so that it fits perfectly, and glue it down. And you'll see that it fits perfectly. And then you're just going to glue all 4 of those pretty die cut sides down on the box. And it comes together so quick and easy. Just making sure that it's sticking down properly and using my bone folder to really secure those 4 corners. And this is what it looks like when you're all done. So, well, we're not all done, but when you've got that part done, you can put the bottom of your box on. And now we're going to cut out the 4 corners on this mauve piece of cardstock. And these are not Anna Griffin cardstocks. They're just from the Hobby Lobby, I believe. They're just regular cardstock. So you can get these anywhere. You can use anything that you already have. And now we're going to glue these pieces to the top of that gold foil that we cut out to cut the corners off of. So nothing's going to waste. So you don't have to think, oh my gosh, I just cut out all of these things and now I have all these pieces, because that you're just like, well, what should I do with this? What kind of project can I make now using all these scraps that I just created? No, everything's getting used. And I just put my iPad on the top of this just to hold those down so that they don't pop up while I am gluing the next one. And you're just gonna connect them all together on there, and it's coming together nicely. So I have a ton of projects that I make where I cut out a bunch of stuff and then, you know, I put it all together, and then I just have all these leftover pieces and I never do anything with. And so, yeah, here we have everything being used up. Nothing is going to go to waste here on this box. And now this piece, I decided that it needed to be propped up. You know, you don't have to do this step. You can just glue it straight onto the top of the box. But I am going to be using some foam pads to put this onto the top of the box. So I'm just going to grab my Anna Griffin foam pads and put them on all 4 of the corners and 1 in the center, and probably even more than that because I really don't want it to go anywhere. And so you can see how many I end up using. And then I'm just going to place this down right on the top of the box. And so now the corners on the top match the corners on the sides. And now we want to put on some corners from that we cut out from off of the, or from the, what did I say it was? China cabinet kit. That's where these corners come from. So you're going to need 8 of them. And so cut out 8 of them and then just glue them on to 2 on each corner, 2 on each flap of your box. And then I use that same binder clip to hold them down to make sure that they're securely staying while I move on to the next one, so that we can hurry up and finish this video and get it going, and we won't be here all day. So you can see, amazing, looks spectacular. I just absolutely am in love with this. So I grabbed some white cardstock and my Anna Griffin flower die, and I'm just gonna cut out some flowers. So for each flower you need two big petals, 1 small medium-sized petal, and 1 of the other things. So basically you just need 1 of everything, but you need 2 big petals. And so that's going to cause you to cut out more than you want to, but to get those 2 big petals. And I do not make flowers, and I'm trying to learn how. That's why what you're watching here. So do not even think that when you see this, be like, what are you doing? Because I know it looks crazy. I just took the whole ink pad and just swiped it over the top. Like, how easy can I make this for myself? Just take my ink pad and just swipe it over the top. And then, of course, you know, needs a little bit more color than that. So now I'm going to take my next, so this is Worn Lipstick. I think the other one was called Sponge Sugar. And the first one was a lighter shade, and then this one is a little bit of a darker pink. I don't have traditional like tools to do inking and all that stuff because I don't do any inking. So I just grabbed what I could find. I already had that binder clip. I have a makeup sponge. So I cut up a makeup sponge, put it in the binder clip, and I'm using it to sponge over my flowers. So if you don't also want to get into flower making or whatever, and you don't have traditional supplies, hey, just do what I'm doing. Find whatever you can to get the ink on there, swipe it on there, and do whatever you can to get it there, and it'll all be fine. They're flowers. They're all different. They look good no matter what you do. And so just put this color on the tips. So we're not putting it all over necessarily, but just on the tips. And then I'm gonna add just probably a little bit more color to them later. But if you are someone who makes flowers, please don't yell at the screen. I know it's crazy. It's probably horrible and hard to watch, but I'm trying it out for now. And if I like it and I get good at it, I'll buy some real tools. But since I don't know yet, I'm just using what I got. So even here, I just have some sticks. They're actually paint brushes, but I'm using oh gosh, this is so bad, right? I'm just using the barrels of the paint brushes to shape my flowers with and just roll them around oh my gosh, what's it called? Just roll it around the paintbrush stick or whatever you're going to be using. See, I'm just a testament that you can use whatever you have in your home. You can use whatever you have in your craft room to do what you need to do. And I think that a lot of people use those golf shaping tools or things like that. And I have two different sizes because I use the bigger paintbrush handle for the bigger petals, and then I'm using the smaller paintbrush handle. It's not as wide for the other paint or for the other petals. And then as I get to the even smaller petals, I'm just using the very tippy bottom of the handle of my paintbrush just to fold those around. And these ones are I think this is a rolled flower, a very small rolled flower, and that's going to make the center of our flower, which, oh my gosh, takes a lot of the hard work out of it. Now, I do have a glue gun. I know. Thank you, Lord. Praise you, Jesus. I do have a glue gun, so I will be using that. Oh, but I will first put some Crafter's Companion sparkle pen all over my roses because I love sparkle and I want my flowers to sparkle, so I'm putting sparkle all over them. And you can do this step also if you have a Wink of Stella or any kind of glitter pen. All right, so I think that the things that I'm finding in my craft room just get worse and worse. But this is a piece of styrofoam that I'm going to be using to shape my flowers with. And I do have this ball tool that came with the Anna Griffin tool-in-one. So I do have some of those. So you're just going to press in the center and yay, glue gun. And you're just going to layer your flowers on top of each other. I tried it with a regular just glue and it was taking way too long. So yeah, glue gun's probably the best. I tried to offset that flower. It didn't work very well. Make sure you offset your petals. I'm going to try again. Hopefully this works this time. Yes, so offset your petals. You don't want them all stacked up in the same place. and then just push down on the paper to set your glue. And then the rolled flower, you just take a little bit, well, you take 2 of the petals and nestle them together to create your center. Put some glue, hold those down until they set in, and then it looks like the center petal. And then you're just going to add some glue all around the rest of that rolled part on the bottom, and then just roll your flower together. And then I don't know what you're supposed to do with that little round part at the bottom, but I just stick it on as part of like a petal. I just glue it on there. So now it looks like a little inside of a flower. You can take your pointy tip on your tool-in-one, and well, that's not the pointy tip, but that's the scoring tip, but it doesn't matter. You can use your pointy tip or the scoring tip on your tool-in-one and just roll back some of the petals so that it looks like the inside of a rose. And now you're going to interlock that piece in with your 3 petal part right there, and just push it down once again. Make sure it's all glued together and looks good. You can roll these this section also down if you like. It's not necessary, but you can. And that looks like a really pretty inside of a flower. And then you just nestle this one in with the other petals that you created. And that, my friends, is our flower. Now, you probably don't want to take flower making advice from me. Definitely go watch a professional or someone who actually makes flowers for a living if you really want to know how to make a flower. But this is my first one and my version. And so if you haven't never made a flower before, you can, grab some of the things that I grabbed, or you can even follow my tutorial. That's funny. And now I'm just playing with it till I like the way that it looks. And once I am enjoying the way that it looks and I think it looks like a flower, then I will adhere these, I think, to the box. But you're going to need 3 of these. So that I'm only making 1 on screen, but you'll need 3. To make those little curlicues you saw in the box at the beginning, you need these strips of paper. And in order to make them, it's super duper easy. You just grab your cutting tool and you're going to just cut a strip of paper that is like 1/8 of an inch. So just find that mark on your scoreboard and cut. And so now you have these really thin strips of paper that you can use to make the curlicues. So just line them up together and then cut off however much that you want to use. You're not going to need too much of it for this box, and even these are really long. Then take your scissors and then do them like you would when you were in school, and you would make these little swirls. And as you can see, if you pull too hard, you will pull it apart. I was okay with it. Like I said, you don't need this much anyway, but be gentle. And then take your what I'm using, my paintbrush tip or handle again. So grab whatever you have and wrap it around something. And look at that, you guys. Super cute little curlicue that you made yourself out of some scrap paper. So if you have some scraps of paper and you don't want to throw them away and they're just like really thin strips of paper, here is a great thing to do with them. You can make hair bows out of these, or I don't know, whatever, party supplies, I don't know, something, things for presents. Yeah, and interlock them with your glue. So just put some glue on one of them and then connect them together so that they flow together, and you can even like pull them where they're flowing together, or you can leave them separate. It's up to you. And you see I'm even cutting them off so that they're the same size, trimming them. And then do the other one the same way. And then you have your little curlicues. So super duper cute and look really great on this box. All right, so we're gonna need more than just these curlicues on our box. So let's grab all the things that we've made. We made those. We made some flowers. Flowers need leaves, and then you're gonna need your box, and then you're gonna also need a sentiment, but we'll get to that in a minute. So right now I'm just looking at my box to see where I wanna put the flowers, because when I glued down my corners, some glue splattered out, so I want to make sure I put the flowers over the part where there's glue that is visible. And so I'm just using that side as the side to put my flowers on, because I'm only using mostly one corner for the flowers instead of in the center. You can put your flowers in the center if you want, but I decided to put them off in one corner. And then I'm just gonna add all of the leaves, all of them, into this project. So let's put our leaves on, and then we'll finish our project. So I really wanted to make this project using Anna Griffin dies, because I don't see a whole lot of projects like this with Anna Griffin things. And so I thought, you don't have to have all the patterns on there, even though that is her style. She would want that to be a patterned paper box if we were going to do that and say Anna Griffin. But, you can do something more like soft and pastel and still with Anna Griffin and be Anna Griffin. And the flowers look very strange in the camera right now, but it's just what you're seeing mostly is the shimmer on them. But they really are a soft pink and not like a white and a dark pink. It's more like a soft pink and a dark pink with shimmer on it. And now you just take your curlicues and tuck them in wherever you want. And I put one on each side. They're just a fun little element that you can put on there. I considered putting a bee on there at some point, but I put a bow. And then also my sentiment, I just wanted it to say something very simple, like a gift for you. Or just for you. I wanted it to say a gift for you, but I didn't have anything that said that, so just for you was what I had. And then I cut out the gold banner. I just used the sentiment as my template, and I just cut it out the exact same, and then put it on there. I'm just doing this with some foam pads on there. It's not being glued on, but it's on there with some foam pads. It's tucked underneath there, underneath the bow, underneath their flowers and leaves, and that looks really good to me. And this is our box. Like I said, I tried the bee. I didn't put him on there. I ended up taking him off, but this is our box, and it's really beautiful. It would make a great gift for anyone for a birthday or anniversary or wedding. And if you like this kind of project, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to share this video with a crafty friend. And thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.